things not go our way. And at least 2 or 3 times I thought we were going to be crashing into the outside wall in turn 1, whether it was because the door foam came off, got my steering wheel, or me and Brad got into each other and I got loose into one. There was a lot of things that just didn't really seem like they were going our way. Loose wheel, but it didn't seem to hold us down. I mean, our car was really strong, and we got some breaks along the way too. And I knew we had a strong car, but I didn't know how our night was going to finish after all the things that went wrong. So, just great that we were able to put ourselves in that position, take 2 tires, and have a car strong enough to be able to hold on to the lead like that.
All right, if you have a question, please raise your hand. We will go ahead and start right back there.
Justin Schuler kicking the tires. Tyler, first off, congrats. I know you kind of wanted this one probably a week ago, but let's talk about the tires, because I mean, this is race 30 of the year, and I think we've had 3 in this entire season where we haven't had tire issues. What is it like as a driver to like have that uncertainty of not knowing when the tire is going to go, or if it's going to stay, or how?
Well, I mean, you have some sort of an idea. We, at the end of practice, we were one of the few that had some issues with the right front tire. So we knew we had some work to do, and there were some things we needed to change, maybe go up on some air pressure, that sort of thing. So it wasn't like an unknown, but certainly with the way the practice is set up, you take a chance of not running enough laps if you're working on your car a lot to really get a read on if you're too low on air pressure or too aggressive on one thing or another. But in our case, we ran enough laps and we were able to see that we had been too aggressive on the right front tire, so we made some adjustments going into the race, thankfully. But yeah, it is tough to not really know. I mean, sometimes you have a warning. I feel like at Kansas I did, at Charlotte I did, Fontana a little bit, but it's very subtle. I mean, you get a little bit looser, the car starts to have a slight vibration, but a lot of times the vibrations I had tonight were very, very, very intense, and if it was going to blow, it wouldn't have, but it did.
How would you describe that for you?
For me personally?
Well, for you being not in the playoffs anymore compared to some of the others who are in the playoffs, because Blaney said he's concerned. Quite a few of the others. For you, you're not. Are you just is it fun? Like,
no, I mean, I'm concerned because I want to, if we blow a tire, we don't have a chance to win the race. That's basically what happened in Kansas. It happened really early, and we didn't get any stage points, nothing. So, it's something we're always going to be aware of. I mean, we gotta, there's performance, and then there's a point where you gotta be smart and try and keep it inside the, a realistic area. And unfortunately for us, a few times this year, we've had really fast cars, but we've been just pushing certain things a little bit too far, and unfortunately we've had issues because of it.
I'll go to Jeff.
Oh my gosh, are you all right? Sick?
Were you having? No, I'm not sick. Just vanished during the race.
You were that excited, screaming and yelling.
Were you having flashbacks to Kansas?
Oh yeah.
You said having this, I don't want fast cars anymore.
I mean, I would love fast cars, but yes, but every time it seemed like we did have fast cars, something something would go wrong. So yeah, I was a little worried coming into the day about that, but thankfully we were able to cut those tires apart after practice, and Goodyear was like, hey, we got a problem here, we need to be aware of this. So we knew that we needed to be a little bit smarter going into the race and make some adjustments. But yeah, I love fast cars for sure. It definitely kind of got twisted where it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll make the car slower and you won't have tire failures. But seriously, every time we've had a car that was off, we're not making the most grip out of the tires, so we're not, pushing limits of what the tires can handle. So yeah, I definitely want to still have fast cars, but certainly it is a bit crazy. You have that short practice and you're going off of, low force data and all these things to try and get the setup as close as you can. You want to have speed, so you're going to push the issue in some areas, and it's just hard to know where that line is until unfortunately something goes wrong or not.
Go right up there.
Hi, Michelle Aaron from Cronkite News. I came out here from Phoenix. Keeping with the theme of the cars, we did see a lot of accidents tonight, like an unprecedented number of things that happened. Do you think there's still a lot of room to improve on these Gen 7 race cars?
I mean, there's things that will continue to change, I think, as we learn more about this car. It's just in the year or months that we've ran in this season from start to now, we learned so much about this car that we didn't necessarily know was going to be a factor, or it's gone directions I think some of us didn't really predict. So I think we'll continue to make improvements, and everyone will do everything they can to try and help the reliability and the durability of the tires. Certainly, as the teams learn more about this car, we're going to be finding ways to push this car through the corners harder than some of the wheel force cars will be able to do in the corners. And so I think just as the teams continue to go down that path of maximizing this car further and further, we just keep making more grip, and the tires have more and more stress because of it. So I think it's just kind of a product of that rapid ramp up and learning about this car that this kind of happened this year.
We'll go right up here.
Rob Tiazza from the podium. Excuse me. Rob Tiazza from the podiumfinish.net. Tyler, congratulations on win number 3 for the season. It's your first on an oval. 2 questions for you. I mean, it was a wild race for sure, but how satisfying is this victory considering how frantic this was? And on a lighter note for my second question, how excited are you to finally get some chicken tenders for fans out there, and maybe for me too?
Yeah, no, anytime that we can get that done, it's a big deal. Going to a Cheddar's on Monday night, it's going to be popping, that's for sure. There's going to be a lot of free chicken tenders, and hopefully everyone's chowing down. But yeah, to get it done to ovals, it is important. I didn't know where it was going to come, but for it to be here is kind of a nice surprise. And based off, again, how our day started, I didn't really know what our result was going to be today. Again, we had a really strong car, but just things weren't going our way. But we were able to bounce back at the right times, and strategy kind of fell the way that it did. And again, our car was strong, so we were able to kind of mix it up. And it just turned out we had the right strategy, and we were able to be at the front when it mattered, and we were able to get to the lead and then hold on from there.
Go here to the left.
Mark Harrow, PRN, congratulations, great win. What was your feeling coming across the start-finish line, heading out of turn 4? You can kind of coast in. It was this massive relief. I mean, again, we had a very frantic race. It was almost, the kiss of bad luck immediately if you were leading the thing. So just, what were you feeling taking the checkered flag after surviving all this?
It was a huge sense of relief for sure. Just the last, 10 laps, I would say, I'm looking behind me, and Joey would kind of pop off a good lap, and I'd have to push a little bit harder. It's really nice when you're in that spot where you have a car that's that good, where you can just kind of drive it at 80% and not, overstep your marks, overstep the line, because that kind of made me feel better about, okay, I got this vibration, but I can run the car 80% through 3 and 4 and not really lose much ground to Joey. So to finally cross the line and know that we finished the race, and that vibration wasn't really anything at all as it seemed, was a huge sense of relief for us, because every time, like I said, it just seems like every time we've been fast, we've had something go wrong, we've had a failure, a tire go down, and after a while it's definitely frustrating. So I was definitely concerned, but we made it.
And my follow-up question is this: when I see how hard this team fights for you and all you guys accomplished this year, any regrets about your decision to move on or move away from this team, given just how good you guys are together?
No, it's my decision to stay or go at the end of the day, it wasn't really, oops, it just popped off that thing. Another thing that went wrong tonight, but hey, we won. So, no regrets. I mean, it unfortunately, the decision that was made and my choice to move on had nothing really to do with my team. It was just circumstances with, myself and RCR, and I love my team. I've never been as close as I am with this group as I have been with anyone else, and it's a type of bond, and and a group of, and then the friendship that we have that will outlive our tenure together as a driver and as a team. You know, we're already joking around about, you know, in years down the road when I'm running somewhere else, we'll probably still be doing the same things we're doing now. We'll probably still be spending time together, hanging out, doing that sort of thing. That's just who we are. So, yeah, we're making the most of this for sure. You know, it is unfortunate that, you know, things do have to come to an end, and as it turned out, you know, it's coming to a close a little bit sooner than we all initially thought when I made my announcement. But it's the direction that RCR needs to take for their long-term goals, and I understand that. But they're a great team, and they're going to have a lot of fun, and you know, they're getting a really good driver. You know, they're getting a really good driver. You know, after me, so you know, they're going to continue to have that success and have that strong drive behind the driver's seat. So you know, I didn't know if we were going to stay together our whole lives or how it was going to go, but if for whatever reason, you know, as it's turned out that I would be going the other way, I wanted nothing more than for them to have like the next best driver that there is in the field, and for them to get Kyle Busch, for me, is if I'm going one way and I can't be with them any longer, and if I could go through the list and pick a driver, that's the guy. So for my team and those guys I care about a lot, I'm really glad they're going to have him.
All right, we'll go back there and then up to Dustin.
Steven Stumpf with Frontstretch.com. It was said before, but Harvick, Elliott, Truex were among the drivers to crash out of the lead. Tires have been a concern. Obviously, you said you were kind of also focused on racing Logano, but in the last green flag run, just how much in your mind were you thinking, oh, please don't go flat, please don't go flat?
Probably about, I'm not going to lie, probably about half, about 50% of my brain was thinking about that. The other 50 was just on running clean laps. Again, it's just because we've had a lot of those issues this year. Fontana, you're leading in the Lenovo car of all things, and blew a tire. Unfortunately, got ran over by William, and our day ended.
Thank you.
Charlotte, another really strong car. We're running second behind Ross and had a failure. We were able to rebound from Charlotte, but there's just been a lot of races this year that's been that way. So because of that, yeah, it's in the back of my mind. But again, it's, you know, everyone knows it coming into this. You know, you gotta push some limits, and unfortunately, just with this new tire and with this new car, it's a little bit more sensitive to it. So you just have to be on top of it a little bit better. Be really paying attention to the tires after practice, and be ready to make some adjustments going into the race so you don't have those issues.
Thank you.
Dustin.
Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, check one of those two videos out that we have right beside you. Visit Frontstretch.com for more great content.